Alright guys, welcome to my next Transformers review. This is going to be on the Fanstoys Quakewave first edition. It was recently re-released in 3 colors, a clear, a toy accurate, and then the original colors. One of the things that's different between the re-release and the original is this cord here that is segmented on the newer one, whereas the original one was a slit cord. Now I got my Quakewave secondhand, so he did not come with the extra hands or the arm attachment, so that way you can move the cord around to the bottom side of the arm to be more accurate. But I did pay drastically less than what he was going for, only about $100, which for this figure is a steal. Got really lucky on that one. Didn't get sniped on eBay, so kind of happy about that. So we're going to go ahead and review him today. We're going to start off here with his robot mode. So let's get a close up here. Now I do need to install the battery in his head here. It is impossible to find the CR1020 battery in the United States. I can't even find it on eBay or Amazon, the battery that's supposed to go in the head. Now you can use a CR1025, which is the battery that goes here in the arm to make that light up for the heads, but supposedly it's a really tight fit and you got to force it in there. So I haven't done that yet. So right now my head does not light up because they didn't put the batteries in it, so that way they couldn't leak or get damaged or anything like that. But let's just go over his articulation. Now he does have shoulders that raise, and then he also has a joint there, and then he has a shoulder swivel. He has a bicep swivel, a elbow, a double elbow actually, so he's got the almost 90-degree bend. He does have individually articulated fingers. Now they are just two jointed. Now they're really tight and close together, so a lot of times they'll move together, but you can get him in the birdie position. So there you go. For those of you that are wondering, yes, he can give you the finger. Alright. Now obviously no articulation in this hand because it just, you flick the little switch here and lights up. So that's how that one works. Otherwise the arms are the same. I personally don't mind the cord being over the top like that. Some people do, and that's why they like to put the replacement arm on here. But that does take away the light up gimmick, and so it will no longer light up. And it does have a opaque cannon and opaque hand instead of the translucent ones that are here. I do like the translucent better personally, so I really don't care that I didn't get the other ones. Now this does look like it would light up, but I have never seen anything light up for it, so I don't know if it will or won't. I'm 90% sure it won't because I don't have a switch or anything for it. So now the next thing here, he does not have an ab crunch, but he does have a waist swivel, so he can turn in any position. His head is on a ball joint, so you can get it up, down a little bit. It's not too much clearance because of how big it is here in the back, and it just hits up on stuff. But otherwise you can turn it and get it in a lot of different positions. Next here you got the legs. They go up and back, and they will go out to the side. He has a skirt flap so you can get them out further to the side. He does have a simple knee. He's got a thigh swivel and then also a knee swivel. He does have an articulated foot that has a joint here, and then is also on a joint there, so it can go up and down, and then you can also position the toe. And it is also on a joint there, so it does have ankle pivoting, and then he does have a heel that can be positioned in different spots. So he's got toe, ankle, heel, foot. He's got one of the most articulated feet you're going to find on a figure. Now one thing I would like to say about him is he is really easy to stand. You just sit him down and he stands. He is very bottom heavy. And that's because most of the die cast in this figure, if not all the die cast, is right here. This guy's heavy. Set him down. His feet are die cast as well. But yeah, so you set him down and he sits real fine. Now here's the back. Now this is the backpack that becomes a part of the gun, so he does do a little bit of parts forming, but that's just because the backpack becomes the barrel. Now this becomes the front end of the barrel then. This becomes obviously your sights. So that's him in robot mode. So now let's go ahead and show him off with some other Masterpiece figures. Now first, we're going to start off with just one of the MP cars. We're going to go here with the G2 Sideswipe. Obviously, he towers over the MP cars. And let's go ahead and show him off with another MP car. And there is Wheeljack. And then MP size third-party car. We're going to go with our Kokomon. So as you can see, he towers over these ones. But he scales with the leader class Masterpiece figures. So I'm going to show him here with You're the Horse's MP10. As you can see, he is about the same size as MP10. With the antenna, MP10 looks to be a hair bigger with his antenna. But if you were to include the cord here, technically Quakewave's the larger one. Now the next MP figure to show him off with is the MP Apollyon figure, which is technically not an MP, but the third-party MP. Now these both have light-up gimmicks. He's got it in his cannon, he's got it in his cannon. So I think these two figures for third-party figures are some of the best figures there are. And they work great together. They scale perfectly. So let's go ahead and show them off with some other figures here that you may or may not have in your collection. There is my Mind Wipe, which is the Sigma L from the Fans Project line. And I forgot to mention, the Fanstoys is his line. I used to always get those two confused and thought they were the same one for the longest time. Let's go ahead and show him off with Bumblebee. And Bumblebee comes up to his thigh. About halfway up the thigh. See? So. Of course, Grimlock. So. And for those of you that played the Fall of Cybertron games or anything, Shockwave and Grimlock have a little bit of a history together. So. They don't really like each other. Mainly because Shockwave experiments on things. By things, I mean people. By people, I mean Transformers. Now, some of the other figures I want to show him off with are some of the other Shockwaves that I have. Here is your Beast Hunters Prime Shockwave. As you can see, that's a Voyager. So that's how much bigger he is than a Voyager figure. And here he is next to a Deluxe Shockwave. And as you can see, he towers over him too. One from the animated line, which at the time I did think was a pretty good figure, but now, after seeing all the other Shockwaves that have come since, my love of this figure has dwindled drastically. He is rather floppy with all the joints, and his hands are crap from trying to pull off the quad changer that he is. And that's it for robot mode comparisons. I will show him next to one that I'm not going to transform into robot mode, but this is him next to the little gun version that goes with your Fans Project upgrade for Bruticus. So this is your Fans Project Quakewave, I think that's what he was. So this is Quakewave and Quakewave. You'll see this guy again once we get him into his alt mode. I will try to transform this guy on camera in alt mode. He is rather easy to transform for the most part. There are a couple spots on him that can be a little painful to get transformed, but let's go ahead and see what we can do with him. Now, the first thing I like to do is get this head out of the way. So you lift the arms up like that, make him shrug. Then there's these little flaps right here. You open them up, and the chest flips down. Now you flip that head right in, close that back up, lock it back down. There, you're done with the head. Now, since we're already got the arms up here, what you want to do is spin the arms, so that way the top cord is on this side, and then your little divot here on the shoulder is on the outside. So you spin the other one up like that as well, and this will allow you to get him into the position that you're going to want him in. Now the hand here is very easy to transform the hand. You just flip open and put the hand back in. If the hand, you got to turn the hand so that way it can go in. Alright, now what you do is you just clamp these two together. So that way both these little elbows here are on the bottom. So, alright, and we're getting there. Now what I like to do next is I pull this part down to get the backpack off. So, lift this up, and backpack pops right off. Now you'll just fold that back down, and you're going to be done with that. And he's about half transformed at this point. Now the next part here can be a little bit tricky. You want to spin the legs inward like that, and oh wait, no, yeah, you want to leave them both in. So you spin the legs in like that, and then what you do is you unfold this out. If you do it together, like pull and pull up at the same time, makes it a little bit easier. Then you can clamp these two pieces together, and that's the handle. Next piece I'm going to show you here is how to do the feet. You fold these ankles in, toe down, flip these flaps down, flip the flap down. Now it's on a double joint, so it can be a little bit difficult at times to get it lined up perfectly. So now the next part is the hardest part sometimes, and that's getting the legs to collapse. Now this can be a pain. If you've ever had the MPO-1 Prime or good old Voltron, you will remember these sort of collapsible things. Alright, I may have to untransform to try to force one of these legs to go. There you go. See, it takes a decent amount of force to get that to go in. A little tap on the back there. Light tap, not a hard tap. Collapse in, clamp, clamp. You can pull this part out. Now, this part here can be done in two different ways. You can either clamp it together and have it go up and lock in, because there's a little spot for it to lock to hold the handle in place a little bit better, or you can leave it down as a trigger. So that's a preference on that one. Now, the only thing left to do for him is put his barrel on. So let's go ahead and set that down. Now here is his barrel. You just go ahead and take it apart like that. Fold this part out. Collapse this part together. Now do not close all this together, because there's one more thing we need to do. So we pull the gun barrel here into the middle, and then you take this and you wrap it around on the top, and then you pull these parts together. Now you'll see that it'll wrap around the barrel on the inside. It's going to be hard to see on camera, but basically all that wraps around the barrel on the inside. And there we go. He is easy to transform for a masterpiece. Now, once the Takara official MP laser wave comes out, I assume he'll transform in a similar fashion, but his legs here are going to become these, because instead of having it be a part on the outside of the leg. You can tell that from the pictures that are out there. So let's go ahead and turn on his light. And there you can see he's got a little light that comes down. On camera, it's not nearly as bright as it could be. Let me try to turn off some of this light, see if I can. So that way, yeah, it's going to be hard to see there. All right. So there he is in alt mode. Now this handle here, like I said, is where the diecast is, so it's a little bit heavy. But if you want to just set him down like that, there you go, and he will sit. Now let's put him next to little Quakewave. Little Quakewave, big Quakewave. So there he is next to the Fans Project Quakewave that went with their upgrades for your Bruticus figure. So here he is next to one of the MP cars. Obviously, he's not made to scale with them. But he was a giant floating gun or a small gun. Most of the gun figures had mass shifting in the old cartoon. So scale means nothing to mass shifters. Like Soundwave can turn into a light post. That was his original form if you watch the cartoon. Not a boombox, light post. That was his original form that he first showed up in the first episode. His boombox was his Earth mode. Speaking of boombox, there he is with boombox. Alright. And just to show him off with another transforming gun figure. Now I didn't show the robot mode on this because the robot mode is atrocious. And he's also a pain to transform into gun mode. He's rather enjoyable and easy to transform. Normally, some of the figures, once I get them transformed in the mode I want them in, they stay that mode. So for Quakewave here, since he's a joy to transform, I don't mind transforming him as much. But good old Nerf Megatron. Yeah, he is a pain to get into the right position, because some stuff you just kind of have to put it in sort of the right position. Then when the stuff clamps down here, it kind of forces the legs to get into the exact position, and so he's just a pain to use. All right, and another figure to show him off with here is going to be the MPO-1 figure. Once again, scale means nothing to Quakewave other than scaling in robot mode. He scales perfectly with the Masterpiece leader figures like MP10, and then also Grimlock, and then also the third-party Masterpiece leaders like Apollyon. Now they do have a Tyrant coming out and Sovereign, which are going to be Masterpiece Galvatrons. Now I don't know if I'm going to pick up either one of those at this point, but if I do, obviously Quakewave will be shown off in a video with them. And speaking of the Galvatron figures, let's go ahead and show him off here with my Unique Toys Galvatron figure. So he also has a little light, except for his is an actual laser. So if you look here, actual laser. So LED. See, you can't barely see anything. Laser focused. Now you could easily mount a laser inside this arm cannon instead. Probably. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to risk damaging my figure, but you know, if somebody wanted to, they could easily turn him into an actual laser pointer. Trypticon. There he is with Trypticon. Once again, scale does not mean anything here. So overall, this is a really great figure. I've enjoyed it very much. And like I said, I got it for a steal on eBay. Got really lucky. Now, if you guys haven't seen my videos, I did make the backgrounds here out of styrofoam and printed off sheets where I found images online that I used to make my background to make my inside of the Nemesis. I still plan on eventually printing off a big sheet of just this sort of pattern here and making a floor. But right now, it's I haven't done the floor yet. So eventually my videos will have them inside the Nemesis. Once again, this has been Transformer Travis reviewing the Fanstoys Quakewave figure, first edition. So remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how I'm doing. If there's any figures in any of my videos that you would like to see a video of its own compared to some other figures, feel free to put that in the comments and I'll see what I can do about that. Once again, until next time, this is Transformers Travis signing off, saying transform and roll out.